through the crisp morning air as he rushed through the grand iron gates of corridor. The sky was still dull from rain, and a faint mist curled around the stone pathway. Your fingers tightened to your chest, chin tucked down, low profile, invisible. That's how you like it. You were the quiet girl, the one who never raised her hand, never spoke unless forced to, but everyone whispered to you about you. That's the girl who started on half the city. Now I hear she lived alone in that crappy mansion. There's something off about her. If only they know how right they were. You turned the marble hallway corridor too fast and slammed hard into someone. Books slipped from your arms. Your body staggered backward, but a firm grip yanked you upward. Before you could fall, Jungkook Diski, watch where you're going. You froze. You looked up. John Jungkook, black hair falling across his forehead, silver earring glistening under the hallway light. He wore the college blazer like it was beneath him, one hand still, holding your elbow. His cold, piercing eyes poured into yours. No one knew where he came from, but in 3 years, he had girl whispering, boys watching, and teacher unsure what to do with him. He was too perfect, too untouchable. Why, sorry I didn't. You started up, pulling your arm back quickly. He bent down slowly, picking up one of your work and shoved it in your hand without another word. Jungkook, next time don't walk around with your head in the clouds. Then he walked away just like that. You were intensely eye everywhere. Did you see that she bumped into him? He actually touched her. And didn't even smile. That's so Jungkook. You swallowed hard and knelt. Together your book. Your heart was thudding so loudly you could barely hear anything else, but you did hear him halfway down the hallway. His voice drifted back to you, almost like you know you'll still be listening. Jungkook, why and right? You breathed his, you never told him your name. And you were absolutely sure you'd never spoken to him before. By the time you got to your next class, every seat had a whisper, every stare felt sharper, every girl was now watching you. You wish you could disappear, you tried to ignore it, tried to sing, even more than usual. You pulled your hoodie up, kept your eyes closed, and stared into your desk in the corner of the class. That's when he walked in. He walked past by your desk like nothing happened, like you were nothing, and that somehow hurt more than if he had said something cruel. Your literature teacher looked up from the attention seat. Professor, why, and Jungkook, you didn't pair up again. Your work for the last verse was promising. Your eyes shut up. Why and what? But say how and mean? Why and prove you no. Not this again. Jungkook, eyes met yours across the room from the briefest second after class. You were stuffing a book into your bag when you heard the voice behind you. Jungkook, you're going to ignore me now? He asked, calm and quiet. He was turning his behind your chair close, but not enough to be obvious, just enough to make sure your heart raced. Why, you ignore me all day. Jungkook, you didn't look like I want to talk. Why, I didn't want attention. You gave me that without asking. Jungkook looked at you for a second, then stepped forward just slightly. Jungkook, don't act like you didn't like it. The sentence stopped the air in your lung. He leaned in just a little more, so only he could hear. Jungkook, you are not as invisible as you think, Ryan. Then he walked away again, just like before, leaving you wondering what game he is playing and why. For someone who acted like he didn't care, he was watching you so closely. The last of the students had already left. The sky was heavy with deep violet cloud, the faint glow of city lights flickering in the distance. You step out of the library with your bag slung over your shoulder and a tired sigh. The day had been long, too long. You hadn't spoken to Jungkook again since in canteen. Not that you wanted to, but something about his presence still lingered, like the echoed. He left the room. You checked your phone. When too late to take the main road, too many eyes. You took the side path, the shortcut behind the abundant shadow, just the whisper of wind through rusted fence and dry leaves under your foot. You were halfway down the path when you heard the bang. The sharp crack of the gunshot echoed through the alley, bouncing off the concrete wall. Your heart dropped. Your breath stopped. Your hand instantly went to the inside of your coat. Nothing. You weren't carrying protection today. Stupid mistake. Is someone after me? Did someone recognize me? Did they know? Your mind raced. Your leg moved faster, not a glance back. Just pure survival. You turned to the corner, lungs burning. You finally stopped near the field, hand on your knees, heart pounding like thunder in your chest. You turned your head slowly and froze. A figure stood far behind you, right where you had run from, dressed in black, face covered by a mask. He wasn't chasing you. He wasn't moving at all. He just stood there like he was checking. You stood your ground, forcing your breath too slowly. You didn't scream. You didn't try to run again. You just walked back. And after what felt like lifetime, the masked figure stepped backward and disappeared into the shadows. The school was quieter by evening. The air outside had begun to chill, and the sky wore a shade of dusty grey. You climbed the stair to the library with a stranger mix of nervous and irritation he had texted you earlier. No context, just library 5 project. That was it. No please, no. Can you come? As if you were expecting to follow his word without question. You clutch your bag tighter, a water bottle tucked in his side bag. Something you bought without thinking, something that had become a small habit. When you knew you would see him, even he didn't ask, even he never thanked you, he stepped into the nearly empty library you foresaw, muffled by the soft carpet. There he was, already seated in the far corner, where no one could overhear expression unreadable, but what could caught your eye a row of three identical unopened bottles lined. Beside his backpack, each one of the same brand as the one in your hand, you blinks, your finger instantly curled around the bottle you bought wine. Seriously, he had some. You turn slightly, thinking maybe you'll just keep it for yourself, when Jungkook. That's mine. Mine. What? You finally look at it just briefly with your same blank expression. Jungkook, that bottle, same brand, on a ring dead. When you have three already. He reached out, not wanting for your permission. His hand brushed against yours as you took the bottle without hesitation. Jungkook, doesn't matter. That's one cold. He twisted the cap, then wiped the rim of his tip. And instead of throwing it in bin like any normal person, he screwed the cap back on tight. You waited for him to toss it, but he didn't. He started it in his backpack with precision, almost like it mattered, like it needed to be kept. You brought it together. Why are you keeping it, Jungkook? I don't like wasting at someone big intentionally. You sat down beside him, unsure if the silence between you was suffocating or oddly comfortable. He passed you a few pages. Jungkook, take page 7 through 10 theme and emotional tone. Use actual quotes this time. You both worked in silence for a while, and the longer your scratch, the more suffocating it felt. He was focused, dangerously focused. His pen moved quickly, pausing, his jaw tense every time he crossed something out. At one point, your pen slipped, knocked lightly against it. If it didn't flinch, just moved unfiltered from you. The distance felt cold as air. After 20 minutes, you broke the silence not because you wanted to talk, but because you needed to ask something. Why you act like this? Jungkook, like what? Like you're above everything, like emotion annoyed you. He leaned back in his chair and finally looked at your expression, still unreadable. Jungkook, because emotional distraction, people, louder distraction. He looked way back in his notebook. Jungkook, that's why I don't like working in pairs. But you're kind. You don't talk unless necessary. It's tolerable. You try not to show it, but the words tongue tolerable. That's all you were to him. Still, you were still nothing. You just nodding and writing. You shouldn't have stayed this late again, but studying helps distract you from the whisper, from the strange glance Jungkook kept giving you, from the way you found yourself looking at him even when you told yourself not to. The evening air had grown colder. Your coat doing little to block the wind. You wrap your arms around yourself. You weren't so far from the home, unless a few echo from the corner. You stood instantly. A group of older boys stood near the bikes, clearly drunk, laughing. One of them revived his injured aggressively. You took a step back, deciding to take action. You weren't scared, just careful. It wasn't your first time sensing danger, but then the boy on the bike rode closer. Blocking your path, he didn't speak at first, just there. Eyes walked with alcohol mischief. Man, you lost, he stirred. You didn't answer. You turned to walk away, but another step forward. One reached towards your wrist. Decelerated too fast, that's when instant kick in. You pull away and run. Your footstep echoed again. The walls of narrow alley. The only thing louder than was your heartbeat was your breath. And then two sharp controlled noise behind you. You froze mid-step, not because you were hurt, but because everything suddenly went silent. There's the sound of the breeze against the building. You slowly turned, heart thudding. One of the guys from earlier was running away. Now who got headshot and the blood covered your face. And at the end of the alley, under a flickering light, a tall figure stood, still calm, hand in the pocket. Hand slightly tilted, he didn't move, but watched you from afar. You know that posture, the silence, the cold stares. Why did it look like him? Jungkook, no, it can't be. Your nails weakened, the airline crashed, your mind started processing. The edge of the vision grew darker. And just before you hit the ground, you saw the shadow moving toward you in the rush. The soft arm of early sunlight seeped through your curtain, painting golden lines across your blanket. You slowly open your eyes, blink against the light. A sharp drop pulse right behind your temple, the kind you get after from crying, running, and dreaming too hard. You sat up, croaking and silent. Your coat was still on. Your bag lay neatly on the floor. Shoes placed on the bed. Nothing felt out of the place, and yet everything did. When I was running, they came close. I was scared something stab in. You run your finger, touch your cheek. Instinctively, no blood, no scratch, no proof. Your heartbeat fluttered at the memory, blurring disjoints, but vivid in flashes. Out of the boy, the gun lowered, a stare that made you freeze. Why, it looked like Jungkook could feel like him, but it's impossible. Why would he? Maybe it's just fear. Maybe I imagined the face I've been thinking of too much lately. Maybe I wanted to be him. The idea stung more than you expected. You lay back slowly, eyes fixed on the ceiling. Why, if it really was him, why didn't he say anything? And if it wasn't, then who the hell brought me home? You walked down the stairs slowly, still feeling that strange haze from the last night. Your body had rested. Your mind didn't. The moment your feet touched the last step, you could already hear them, your parents, talking in hushed but urgent tone from the dining table. Why, and father, we can't take any risk if the joint family is involved. Don't bring them into this again. Their territory is far. Far doesn't mean sullen. You paused mid-step, your heart freezing for a split second. You never heard the name in your household before, and whenever took interest, you walked in, pretending to look casual, rubbing your eyes. Why, Mom? You were up early. You nodded and slid in your chair, pretending to scroll your phone, but your ears stayed sharp. Why, who's the John family? I never heard the name before. The room went still. Your mother, spoon hovered mid-air. Your father didn't even blink. Why, Mom, why are you asking that? Did someone say anything at college? Why, no, just overheard the name somewhere. It sounded serious. Your mother exchanged a brief glance with your father, then leaned forward slightly. Why, Mom, if you ever heard the name again, walk the other way. Why? Why? Why, Mom? Because they're dangerous. Years ago, a family and their we clash, bad blood, ugly history. The John family isn't just a name. Why, and they're the kind of people you don't have to cross a path with. Your solid heart trying to keep your face neutral. Why, Mom, do you know someone with that name? Why, no, no, just curious. But your stomach twisted with a strange mix of fear and realization. John Jungkook. You were at college, sitting quietly, pretending to study, while your eyes kept drifting towards him. You watched him from afar, the way he walked, the way his shoulder moved, the sharp linearness in the jaw. Black hoodie, you narrowed your eyes slightly, letting your vision blur on purpose, secreting the way you had seen him that night. The panic, fear, and exhaustion, and when it hit you, it was him, the build, the stance, the exact way he had himself, too familiar, too specific. But Van, why would you follow me? Why would you shoot for me? It doesn't make sense. You blink again, confusion clouding in your mind. Van, was it really him or just a dream? I have to find that myself. At lunch break, you spot him walking ahead of you, same dark hoodie layered into the blazer, hand tucked into his pocket, head slightly lowered. He walked alone as always, and once again you found yourself following him, not too close, not too far, just enough to watch him carefully, the way you move, just like the figure you saw at night. You bite your lips, forcing yourself forward. Wine, I need to be sure, just one sign, one sip. You turned into the back corner, the quieter one, behind the library building. You turned a few seconds later, heartbeat quaking, but the swallow was empty. He was gone. You stopped, confused. Your eyes searched the corner, trying to listen for any step. Suddenly, a hand grabbed your wrist and pulled. You barely had the time to react before your back hit the wall. With a soft thud and your breath cut caught in your throat, Jungkook stood in front of you, his arm rested near your head on the wall, blocking your escape. His eyes poured into yours. Jungkook, why are you following me? Why, I wasn't. Jungkook, don't lie. His tone doesn't raise, but the edge in it made your stomach twist. You looked on, trying to avoid his gaze, but it didn't move. Jungkook, you have been staring at me all day, and now you are trailing me through the corridors. He stepped half an inch closer, just enough for you to feel how cold his presence really was. Jungkook, so I'll ask again, why are you following me? Your breath hissed, your heart raced. You tried to think of another excuse, but it felt pointless. He could see right through you, so you swallowed the lump in your throat and whispered, why, I wanted to ask, but last night. That was the first time his expression changed, just slightly. A flicker of something in his eyes, not surprise but recognition. Why, I think I saw you when those guys when I run. He stared back for too long, then slowly he smirked. Jungkook, and exactly what do you think you know? You blinked, unsure. He leaned a little closer, enough for you to make you hold your breath. Jungkook, don't you think it was me, or was it a dream? You stared into his eyes, unable to speak, because deep down a part of you already knew, and that was the scariest part of all. When I don't remember everything, I just feel too real. Jungkook smirked, his eyes locked on yours. Jungkook, I don't know either. Could it have been me or just a dream? You swallowed hard, unsure of what to believe. He stepped back before turning away, like it meant nothing. But before he walking off, he looked over his shoulder and said with a slight smirk, Jungkook, you should focus on your project, baby girl. Then he walked away, hand in his pockets.